Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is going to be a raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, this could be a long one, okay? I'm going to set it out there up front. Go and make the cup of tea now. Bring it back. This might be a long video, but I'm going to do what I think are the top 50 champions in raid. Now, we've got a website, hellhades.com, you know all that stuff. And I rate all of the champions, yeah? And we've now got over 600 champions in raid. It's very difficult to understand if you've got a good one quickly. So it's going to be my best ones. And I'm going to start with the easier to obtain and get harder and harder as we go through the video. So if you're a super whale, just watch the last 15 minutes. But let's do it. Let's do it. So let's start with two uncommons, actually. Two uncommons which have got to be in the list because they are played right through. I always go to that wrong section. They are played right through to endgame. Well, this one is. This one is Armaga. Top 50 champion in the game as an uncommon. Let that sink in for a second. Over 600 champions. This uncommon, top 50 in the game. Still finds his way into teams that are facing level 120 Doom Tower hard. Yeah, I just put a video up last night. And he's in it. He's in my team. He's in my best team to face 120 hard against a Dark Fae. He's in other Doom Tower teams for me as well. He's the master of turn meter reduction. His A1, every time he lands it and crits, he reduces turn meter of the enemy, single target, but is just insanely good. There's only one other, we'll come to them later in the game, but there's only one other that comes even close to turn meter reduction of this dude. He is slow. He's a defense-based champion, so his damage is based on defense, which means that you could kind of build him tanky and still get your damage away if you want to build him for damage. You have to build crit rate on him. You have to build accuracy on him to land his stuff. And he's also got a block revive on his A2. It's like his A1's insane. And then his A2 is actually really good as well. This uncommon is a beast. Okay, let's go to the second uncommon on the list. And the only other one. He's not as good, okay? He doesn't find his way into all of the endgame teams. But he's good because, and the reason why I put him in is because as you're going through campaign and general early to mid game, often you come against that level where your magic champions can't do the job. They're all the wrong affinity. You need someone to step up. Shield Guard is that guy. He's a guy who steps up and is like, Kale, take a seat. I'll do this one. And again, he's a defense-based champion. He's slow, but for an uncommon, he's very good. He's got a nice debuff on his A1. He's got a big AoE hit on his A2. And he fills turn meter for crits, so he just gets his turns back really fast. Obviously, you can book him for free just by finding more copies. He's a great uncommon. So that's my two uncommons on the list. Off the list now. All right, let's move on to Champ 3. And I can't do this without just calling out your starter champion, your boy, your Kale. This is the dude you should have picked. If you didn't pick him, hope you pull him. So for the early to mid game, he's just an absolute beast. He's in all your teams. And even as you get later on, he can still play the game. So he's got to be in a top 50. Poison, lots of poison, nuke. Only need 85% crit rate on him for his nuke, which is nice. And he's fast. He hits hard. He's up there with like the top rare nukers. He's up there with most of the top epic nukers. And he's not far off the top legendary nukers. Like he's close enough to be viable in the arena right the way through the game. So Kale is in the top 50. Next one up, again, we're going to, as I say, we're getting harder and harder to obtain as I go through this. So next one up is Apothecary. I can't do a list like this without calling him out because he's just such a game changer once you get him. And again, he's that type of champion that can play right through to the end game. Speed increase plus turn meter fill. Triple hit A1. A lot of people underestimate how good this actually is. If you're up against someone like Fire Knight, that triple hit just makes him viable for your teams right through to late game. And if you're using him for Clan Boss, you just get the extra damage away from a triple hit. But he's got a very juicy heal on his A2 as well. And you can crit heal, which is very rare in the game. So you can literally top someone up, no problem, 2-turn cooldown. So yeah, Apothecary, very fast. Good for just about any content right through towards endgame before you start replacing them with better champs. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Now, this is probably going to start to cause some waves down in chat, but I love this champion. I love this champion. For a rare, he's insanely good. He's got such good control mechanics that he allows everyone else to get their turns away. So Nullhorn provokes all enemies for a turn and puts increased defense on himself. 3-turn cooldown. And then his next ability, also 3-turn cooldown, makes himself unkillable. What does he do? And cool thing about him too, he doesn't have to worry about affinity because he places this provoke. He doesn't try and hit someone to place a provoke, in which case you'd need to worry about affinity. He places it. So he'll do it on all affinities, as long as he's got enough accuracy to do it. So why is he so good? I mean, he honestly can keep a whole team provoked all the time. In all wave content, he's just an absolute beast. If I'm worried about, if I'm trying to do like a free-to-play friendly style video on my main, he's the first person I go to because I know that he can just keep all of the team at bay, all of the ads at bay, while the rest of my team do work. Nullhorn is an absolute beast of a rare. I love him. He's also part of the fusion for Razin, to be fair. So let's get on to some of the Void rares. First one I've got to call out. She's really the Void rare that everybody should want to pull. Without fail, she's the one. She's still played in tons of end game comps. Like, people hyper whales still use 2 Cold Hearts in a lot of their teams. Yeah? Spider, Fire Knight, a lot of Doom Tower bosses. She is just end game. That's where she plays. Early game, she's like that. Leave me alone, guys. I'll come out when it starts getting tough. Quad hit on her A1 makes her insane for Fire Knight. Plus, she's the only champion in the game tuned for Fire Knight that she'll do this when the shield's up. That's the only one they've done it for in the whole game. It massively increases her value. So yeah, plus she puts heal reduction. Awesome for Fire Knight. Pretty cool for a couple of other bosses as well. She's got the cannon on the A3. This can hit for a couple of million, no problem, against some like level 20 plus bosses. And she only needs 70% crit rate to make this work, which means you can just boost her other stats. Don't let me see you using Cold Heart with an attack percent chest. Use an HP chest. Most of her damage comes from enemy HP, not your attack. Keep her alive and she will do work. Get her speed up, 170 plus. Get her accuracy up to do her job. The reduced turn meter will not hit if you do not have accuracy on this champion. Okay, Cold Heart. Flipping good. Flipping good. And then we got Paradon. Almost like the reverse of a Cold Heart. Cold Heart's like, I'm going to smack stuff down fast. Paradon's like, if you don't have her, I'll do it for you, but really slow. But I will do it. And he comes in and cheeses his way through all sorts of stuff. Cheese your way through Spider on a difficult level where you don't have the right champions. Cheese your way through some of these Doom Tower bosses. Just because if you book his A2, he could be unkillable all the time. 100% of the time. He's also pretty cheesy for Nightmare Campaign if you can't get through that last boss. Yeah, you just got to book this A2. It becomes the Cheese King. And the AI in this game, they look at him and they're like, I see he's unkillable, but I still want to kill him. I really want to kill him. He's so low health. He's like that. Bring it on, fellas. I'm unkillable forever. So Paradon has got to be on the list. Okay, let's start moving into the epics. Epics. Where should we start? I think we're going to start with a champion that just keeps giving. Yeah, she just keeps getting better. Doom Priest. A lot of people had her for a long time before Doom Tower came out. And I'll tell you what, she was already good. But since Doom Tower came out, every single boss has got, you know, stuns, freezes, fears, all of that type of stuff. You're just getting debuffs on you all the time. Doom Priest is like, I don't even have any good abilities. But I do have a passive, and my passive is insane. There's only one champion in the game that's got any type of passive remotely like it, and it's a Void Legendary. Every time she gets a turn, she heals you, and she removes a debuff. Heals you, removes debuff. That's it. That's all you use her for. So you just make her very tanky and fast, and you just rotate through that as quickly as you can. She's an absolute beast. Even if she's stunned, it doesn't matter. She still does it. So Doom Priest, absolute, like, godlike pull. Let's stay in the same faction. Not many people talk about this fella anymore. He's still insane. he still gives you an AoE stun. He still puts shields on your champions. He's very good against Scaraboss because he's got a 3-turn cooldown on his shield when booked, and it goes on for 3 turns. So that's what you want for Scaraboss. Someone who's got the same cooldown as the amount of turns they put a shield on for. Then they can keep a shield up 100% of the time, as long as they're the quickest in your team. He's awesome for Spider, and Spider's probably the first real challenge that people face in this game. He's still got to be called out. He's still a high damage dealing HP champion. And a lot of people forget just how good his passive is as well. He puts ally protection out, and then when people start getting hit with the ally protection, fears start proccing. It's very, very cool. A little bit of a stun on his A1 as well. Yeah, Miscreated Monster cannot be overlooked. Okay, where are we going next? We're going to go and have a look at... I guess the reason why... Where is he? The reason why I'm putting this champion in... Oh, yeah, here we go. Modikai. The reason why I'm putting him in is because of Spider, really. So, Spider is insanely difficult to beat when you get past, like, level 15. Yeah? And you start to need new mechanics to beat that boss. And really, HP burn becomes the mechanic of choice. And that takes you right through to level 25. So this guy, he's putting HP burn out. He's also doing turn meter control. And he's just the best epic for doing it. Simple as that. He's the best epic to do it. So Modikai has to be on the list. HP burn, certainly AoE HP burn, is also just like best mechanics to beat a lot of Doom Tower waves as you get higher, and some of the Doom Tower bosses as you get higher. So Modikai has to be in the mix. Okay, let's keep this going. You still with me? Next one I'm going to call out is the Stag. What a champion this guy is. Stag Knight, just beast mode. One of the best drop defense champions in the game. 3-turn cooldown on it. It's a 95% chance. You do need to take the mastery, which gives you another 5%. And it'll obviously push him up to 100. He does have to worry about affinity, but he's also got a decreased speed on his A1. He's got this kind of accuracy boost here. Very fast, very easy to keep alive. Stag Knight is just an absolute beast. Okay, let's keep it moving then. So, on to the next one. I'm only calling this guy out because he's just so good at soloing stuff. I'm actually not the biggest fan of Vergis, but I just keep seeing another video of Vergis soloing something else, and then another video of Vergis soloing something else. If you want to check this sort of stuff out, I think Ash does a good job of it. Stew Gaming does a good job of it. Cold Brew does as well. Vergis just loves a solo. So it's mainly because he's able to kind of put heals on himself, speed on himself, and he puts increased defense on himself, and he's got this passive where he gets a shield basically every turn. So he's just actively blocking damage with the shield. But yeah, Vergis comes in just for Mr. Solo. Okay, let's keep going. Skinwalker up next, and we're going to talk about Fane. So Fane's on this list really because of the damage output she can do in Clan Boss. She brings kind of all the debuffs you want, really. Poison, decrease attack, decrease defense, and weaken. She's very squishy in terms of defense. You need someone in your team that will keep increased defense up the whole time, or you need to run her in an unkillable team, and that's a place where she thrives because she will just output tons of damage, legendary levels of damage. So Fane has got to be in the mix because she just does so much work. Wow, this champion has become a necessity. Honestly, this champion is now the necessity in Raid. Allure. Who would have thought it? And we always knew she was decent for Fire Knight. Okay, she'd always been decent for Fire Knight. Then they changed AI so that champions that reduce turn meter actually use their turn meter reduction skill whenever a turn meter was over a third, which made her infinitely better. Okay. Then they brought out a ton of bosses where you want to turn meter control them in Doom Tower, and Fire Knight 21 to 25 without her, honestly, it's almost impossible. Not impossible, it's just super long. So she's just shot up in value, and she's probably one of the most desirable epics in the game, if not the most desirable epic. Because of that, she's just so valuable as you get further and further into the game. So Allure, absolutely on the list. Same faction, actually. I'm going to call out Magnar just because of his damage output for an HP champion. So Magnar's A2 is one of the best nukes in the game if there's no HP burn out there. So he can become your arena nuker, your wave nuker. And if there are AoE HP burns, he spreads all sorts of debuffs as well, which is kind of cool. He also heals when there's HP burns out there, but mainly I'm calling him out for his nuke ability. He's someone that doesn't need to be paired with an increase attack champion for the arena and still put out a ton of damage as if he had a buff on him. So Magnar's got to be called out. Okay, let's keep it moving. I know this is going to be a long one. Okay, one of the free champions that you get for logging in. Sorry, I thought she was there, but she's here. Darkel Hayne. There's lots of funky stuff going on with Darkel Hayne because of her passive. So whenever someone in your team is frozen, she nukes, okay? And she nukes hard. Like, she's up there, one of the top nukers. Mainly because she increases her own attack first, so she doesn't need someone else to do that. And then her damage is kind of up there as top level epic, close to the big legendary nukers, especially when booked. So yeah, Darkel Hayne is up there for the cannon, and she's awesome. Like Doom Tower waves where you get all these people trying to freeze you. She's like that. Don't freeze my friends or you'll be on the floor. Dead. So Darkel Hayne, super cool champion. Actually, let's stay in this faction for a while. So we've got a few in here. Seeker. Youch. Seeker does stuff that other champions can't do, even legendaries, okay? He enables unkillable teams. He enables 2-for-1 comps in Clan Boss, and he's also a super good arena champ. He enables these comps because he can book his A2 down to a 3-turn cooldown, which is a turn meter fill, but it also, he gets an extra turn, so it's actually the equivalent of it being on a 2-turn cooldown. There's only a handful of champions, like less than 5, that have got this type of mechanic, which means he's rotating the speed increase extremely fast. He also hits hard. People don't appreciate how hard this guy can hit. He hits hard. It's only single target stuff, but he does a lot of damage. So yeah, Seeker is very cool for that. Also, I should call out, if he's in arena, when he gets hit, he spreads an increased defense buff. So if he's your first man in your team, the leader, he gets hit first, spreads the buff. The rest of your team probably will live when they should die. If you put him at the back of your team, he gets hit. Everyone else has already been hit before him, so he doesn't spread the buff to anyone before they're already dead. So turn order is really important with someone like a Seeker. But yeah, this passive is actually insanely good for the arena. Okay, let's have a look. One more in here. Bogoth. Nobody dies when Bogoth's in your team. He's so good. Bogoth has been one of the best epics they've added to the game. HP-based champion. Triple hit on his A1, which makes him just viable. As the same type of thing as Apothecary. Viable in a lot of stuff just because he gets some damage away. He also has got a nice increased random debuff on his A1. AoE provoke on his A2 makes him viable for wave content. And then we start getting to the silly stuff. Whenever this champion's attacked, heals all allies by 50% of the damage received. So for someone like the new boss, Bommel, he's pretty much MVP. When those bombs explode, he takes the damage, then he heals everyone for 50% of that. It keeps people running. So the bombs actually don't explode all at the same time, even though they've got the same turn meter. One goes, he heals. Next one goes, he heals. So it's like you're taking half damage. Very cool. He's got another cool passive where he places a leech when he gets hit. And this is actually awesome. So for Clan Boss, you can get your leech out there. It's very slow. That's his only kind of negative. But yeah, Bogoth is very cool. Okay, let's keep it moving. We've got a few more epics to talk about. Next one's got to be... This might be my favourite epic. I think this is probably... What I'm doing in here. This is probably my favourite epic. He's mad. He's always mad. And because of that, he puts out the damage. Look at his eyes. He's like that. I haven't finished yet. He is literally mental, this guy. I love this champion. I love how different his mechanics are. And I love how different it impacts other areas of the game. Like, if you're on Spider, your allies are getting hit by the Spiderlings, he's hitting back when he's got his passive out. And he's not hitting back to the spider that's hitting your dude, he's hitting the boss. It's really weird. If you're up against Scarab Boss and you put him in a destroy set, you take a hit when this passive's running and he's destroying the Scarab shield. If you've got him in Clan Boss and your dudes are taking a hit, he's smacking the Clan Boss with Giant Slayer procs. There's not a place in the game where I don't love this guy. Arena's maybe the only place that he's not brilliant. Everywhere else, I absolutely love him. He places his A3, or he doesn't hit, is what I'm trying to say. So he doesn't care about affinity. He steals turn meter. You have to just be aware of the steal turn meter part, because it does mess you up on something like a Griffin, I guess. That's probably the one area to watch out for. Places the HP burn and weaken at the same time for 3 turns. His A2 removes buffs. So if you've got those annoying champions in waves, like Paradon, like Crimson Helm, that are unkillable forever, and you just turn meter controlling them all day long, he's like, hold on, fellas. A2 comes out, clubs them in the face, and you move on to the next stage. Love this. And then he's got an AoE, decrease accuracy here. He farms for me on my free-to-play Faction Wars up to stage 13 by himself. Just because of this. I turn off the other abilities. He AoEs everyone. Gets the job done. Hits reasonably hard, but the main thing is put Giant Slayer on him and watch him go to town. Ice Golem, everyone's frozen. He doesn't care if he's frozen. He doesn't care if he's stunned. The passive still kicks in. It's very cool. I love this guy. Love this guy. He's my favourite epic. Okay, couple more epics to talk about. So, next one up. Which way? Which way? I'm going to go for this way. Probably get it wrong again. Yeah. Why can I not decipher between Sacred Order and Bannerlords? So, Deek. We can't do a list like this without calling out Deek. He's kind of like Seeker in the way that he gets an extra turn after doing a turn meter ability, which is on a 3-turn cooldown. So, it's the equivalent of a 2-turn cooldown. Makes him very unique. Makes him insane. Honestly, it makes him insane. So drop turn meter, fill turn meter of your team. AoE drop defense, 100% chance to land. You do have to worry about affinity. Leech on his A1. Speed aura in all battles. This is the real deal. This is like the epic to pull. I'm very lucky that I've got great epics on my free-to-play. He's one of them, and he just carries me through a bunch of stuff. Good base stats as well. So Deek's up there. That is it for non-voids. Let's go into the voids. So first void, I'm going to call out Madame. She's still up there. She's still in a lot of end game arena teams. She's still got the most insane A3 we've ever seen. So yeah, Madame Cerise got to be in the mix. Got to be. The rest of her kit's okay. Her A3's mental. Cleans all buffs. She's void as well. She don't care about affinity. Cleans all buffs off. Replaces it with 2 of the best debuffs in the game. And says, Nukas, your turn. My job is done. That's all we need her for. She does have other cool stuff going on, but honestly, it's the A3 that we care about. Oh, actually, I missed 2 non-voids. Let's just go back to those quick. These are obtainable through Doom Tower Awards, so they're long to get them, but I've got to call out Dark Kale. I can't wait to get this dude, honestly. AoE smack with a decreased attack. Plenty of poison stuff going on here. He's activating poisons and burns. And then he's placing poisons and poison sensitivity here. 3-turn cooldown. He's going to be a beast when people start to get him. So yeah, Kale, Dark Kale is going to be one of those. And Rian the Conjurer as well. I should have got Rian by now. Honestly, I just haven't been focused on normal Doom Tower. I hate myself for it because I really want Rian the Conjurer. And I really want Dark Kale. But there's only so many times I can run Doom Tower before I'm kind of like bored to tears of it, honestly. So what have we got here? Block buffs on an A1. We've got the ability similar to Madame on her A2. So removes all buffs if booked. Replaces it with weaken instead of the decreased defense. So still very cool. Then she also pairs up well with Akoff and Eurost. And has got revives on her A3. So I feel like she's just an alternative to Madame, honestly. But very cool. Very cool and well worth getting from a normal Doom Tower. So that was the last of the non-voids. Okay, let's move on to a couple of other void champions then. So we've got Eurodrim, one of the new champions in the game. This guy should just be straight up a legendary. A void legendary at that. He's so good. So good. Solo Dragon 25, yeah, no problem. Basically solo Ice Golem 25 without too much trouble. Or with a little bit of help. Crazy in Doom Tower stuff. Crazy in Clan Boss. He's just throwing out poisons for days. Poisons and heals. Poisons and heals. Speed auras, which are nuts. Crazy base speeds. This guy is insane. I did a guide on him not that long ago. He's just bonkers. So, got to be in the list. Man-Eater also got to be in the list. If anyone doesn't know why, I guess you've not played Raid for very long. This is the king of clan boss. Forget any legendary champion in the game. This guy is the king of clan boss. Yeah. Once you've got him once, with a Painkeeper, you can beat clan boss. Once you've got him twice, you can start to beat multiple clan bosses on the same day with a couple of keys. He's just ridiculous. He's ridiculous because we've understood the game so well, or some people have, that we can speed tune this A3 to make your teams always unkillable whenever the clan boss is going to hit. And there's a whole bunch of videos on this, like 1 million videos on this, with tons of comps. Check out Deadwood Jedi's site, deadwoodjedi.com, and you'll see 1 million comps with Man-Eater in to try and fit whatever you've got. But he is mad. He is insane. He's probably the best champion you could pull if you get him twice and can book him, because getting clan boss rewards every single day is just nuts. And also, he's got a steel turn meter A2 and an AoE decrease attack A1. Like, it's not just this. This is good, but that's not all he's about. He's actually good in other content as well, not just clan boss. But yeah, he's kind of nuts. Okay, 2 more Void epics to call out. First one, Skull Crown, just Queen of the Arena. Right up towards endgame, I'd say. Like early mid game, she's mental. Towards the late game, she's still good. She basically has got an unkillable buff when she's dropping low and 2 nukes. That's all she is. She's just an absolute cannon. But she's also bringing a speed aura for Arena, which is kind of big up until that towards endgame. And she hits hard. She's one of the hardest hitting epics in the game. And she's up close to legendary level damage. So Skull Crown got to be in the mix. And the last one for epics is going to be Seer. Once you've got Seer, there are no waves you cannot beat. There's no waves of enemies that should cause you a trouble. All you've got to do is pair her with enough buffs. You've got to decrease her defense before she goes. And then she's like that. Who's going to be dead? And she's pointing them all out. She's like, you're all dead. You're all dead before I've had a turn. I know it because I've got an absolute nuke A3. If you then pair her with a reset champion, so it's like drop defense, buffs up, nuke, reset, drop defense, buffs up, nuke, and then they're like that. Right, we're on the boss in 12 seconds. Can anyone actually beat up the boss in this team? That's all you got to worry about. So yeah, in Doom Tower, it's exactly that. It's like clear the waves, clear the waves. People get stuck on waves and they're like, oh, what should I do? I know what I'll do. I'll bring another buff and then Seer will clear them out. She's just mental. So Seer, absolutely up there, top tier epic. Let's start talking legendaries then. First one I'm going to call out because she is free to obtain and insane. Scylla the Drakes. She's just so viable anywhere. She's so good anywhere in the game. AoE stun. Crazy. Double hit. 2 chances to stun. You can put it up to 35%. You can also put, I think it's Fearless. I always forget the mastery names. I think it's Fearsome Presence, which gives you an extra 5% chance to stun. That's a great mastery on her. Decreased speed on her A1. Also a turn meter chance to drop on her A1 as well. And then she's reviving people on her A3. Passive healing is awesome as well. Easy to keep alive because she's defense-based. Yeah, Scylla the Drakes is awesome. And some people are going to argue with this. I just did a video on him. I love this champion. I really love Ninja. I think they did such a good job of getting a champion that is a free champion when you log into the game. I don't know what's going to happen once the 3 months are up. I guess it's coming up at the end of this month, and then people will not get Ninja anymore. I would honestly say reconsider that Plarium. Like, this guy is so good when you come into the game. He helps you in so much content. On my free-to-play, he's in every single team. Arena, Doom Tower teams, Clan Boss team, everything. He's in it all, and he's strong in it all. He's not just in there as like a filler. He's in there because he's strong. In my main account, he's my highest damage dealing, unkillable team damage dealer. Doom Tower bosses, his A2 just nukes them into the ground. This A2 is just crazy good. So yeah, Ninja, absolutely insane. Definitely worth calling out. Some people are going to say, look, there's other legendaries you're not calling out that are better than him. But I think for someone that was free to obtain, there's not many. I don't think there's many. So he has to be in my list. Okay, let's move on to this guy. Now, this is interesting. Rotus. I actually did a video a while back. Rotus was nerfed. Okay, he was probably the best legendary in the game, especially for Arena. He was broken. You could kill the whole enemy team. Rotus would be the only one left, and you're still worried that he's going to kill your entire team. And I did this video saying, Rotus nerf, he isn't dead yet. And I did this, he will rise. He has risen. He's now back to being the best legendary champion for offensive Plat Arena resets. Seefy plus Rotus together is just nuts. And almost a requirement for Plat level reset at the moment. A double Rotus. He's also good in some of the Doomtower bosses and stuff, and good in Ice Golem. But yeah, because he's so sought after for endgame Arena, I have to put him in the mix. Okay, let's go for one of the champions that was a fusible champion. Not here. I didn't get him on my main because I was like, would I really use him? I've got so many decreased defense champions, etc., etc. I kind of wish I did now, because actually, I knew he was bonkers. I knew he hit hard. I just didn't see a place for him on my account. But he's actually kind of nuts. AoE drop defense and decreased accuracy on his A2. Free turn cooldown is excellent. This is very cool. So attacks an enemy, gains an extra turn, and decreases the cooldown of his A3. So this becomes pretty relevant in Dark Fae now, to kill someone and then get another turn. So you want to kill your enemy, whoever, get another turn, then he does like an AoE nuke. It just means that he will always clear your team out. So Herndik's really cool for that. He's also cool for the arena because he can go up against someone like a Warlord locking out your whole team. He can kill someone and then quickly get back round to his abilities again. So even though Warlord's cleaned you out, actually you've got a chance of getting back in the game. Got Turn Me to Fill here as well. He's just got a really good kit. He's a solid champion, and he does a lot of damage. So Herndik in the mix. Let's stay here while we're here, I guess. Trunder, hardest hitting champion in the game without silly circumstances, which makes her very much the best arena nuker in the game for an AoE champion. There are people that can hit a bit harder, but they need crazy setup to make it work. She's like that. Yeah, you do all that, guys. I'm just going to do the basics and kill everyone easily. You can see she works out. She flexes it. She loves it. She loves the attention. She loves the attention. She had a normal pair of leggings. She didn't put them on today. She put on these kind of like, I don't know, straps. And that's all she needed because she knew she was going to flex. A2 smacks people into the ground. Higher the HP, the better. And A3, if you don't build her with accuracy, she nukes. If you do build her with accuracy, she stuns and burns. It's like, take your pick. I'm either going to smash people into the ground or I'm going to stop them having a go and I'm going to set them alight. Which one do you want? Everything else about a kit's okay, but it's really those two AoE nukes that make her so good. And we can't talk about best champions without this guy. Honestly, I'd say the best non-void legendary in the game now. Rogney. This dude is mental. Pair him up with Geomancer and the two together are like insane. God, I wish I was playing my free-to-play when this guy was around. He was hard to get, honestly, but he is nuts. Full team block debuffs, increase attack, and shield. The shield cannot be removed. That's important to say. So when Bommel is destroying you and clearing all your buffs out, he can't take the shields away. Rogney's like that. Leave me with something. And he does. He leaves him with the shield. When you've got a shield out and you take damage, you heal for a percentage of the damage and you reflect a percentage of the damage. So the reflecting damage means that he can proc Giant Slayer hits when anything's been reflected. The heal is nice. And also he's got a chance to extend shields on his A2. HP burn on his A1 if you want to use it. And a nice aura as well. Good base stats. This guy is just feasible all over the place. Very, very good endgame champion. So well done if you're still with me. Let's move on to the next one. Drax. Drax. You get him from the bazaar. It's worth... Don't forget, you can only buy 1 token a day. Plarium, let us buy more. Let us buy them all if we want to. Anyway, you can only buy 1 token a day for this dude. You need 100, so it's a minimum 100 days before you can get him. I'm over halfway on my free-to-play now, and I'm looking forward to getting him. He changes the game. Spider, he is helpful because it's passive. If you can get the spiderlings to focus him, he just burns them up. Every time he takes a hit, he's got a chance to place the burn, which is very cool. And it's really that same passive is what makes him great right through all content. Yeah, Doom Tower content, HP burn becomes one of the best ways to kill the bosses. And he just puts it out there. So he's putting it out there on everyone. He does have a hard hitting A2 as well with an AoE provoke chance and a decreased attack if he does land the provoke. And he's got a triple hit A1 burn. Just a good champion. He also heals for percentage of damage on the A1, which is okay. This accuracy aura, don't underestimate it. Doom Tower, you need to start punching over 300 accuracy. Throwing him in your lead, all of a sudden, you're getting closer. Early game, if you're struggling for accuracy, which a lot of people are, early game, you throw him in your lead, all of a sudden your numbers are 70 higher. It's like everyone's wearing another banner. So this dude is an absolute godsend. Really good one to add into the bazaar, to be honest. But I wish they'd changed the mechanics for the bazaar. Couple more in this faction then. So we got Kymar. Maybe the most sought after non-legendary arena champion in the game now. Especially with the way they've changed into these silly reaction accessories and stuff. So you've got an AoE cleanse and sleep A1. So you kind of sleep the enemy. And then it's like, take a rest. Let the reaction accessories wear off. And then we're going to start going to town. He's also got a full reset cooldown of all skills on his A3, which is awesome. And a turn meter fill. So you can let all of your team do all of their work. Then he's like that. Do it again. Which is very awesome. You can't reset this skill with another Kymar, by the way. So if you've got double Kymar, he doesn't reset his own thing to constantly do it. But that would be busted if you could. So I'm pleased you can't. He's got one of the best speed auras in the arena as well. Great base stats. Got a little bit of poison going on in his A1. Awesome, awesome legendary. Same faction. You can't miss out this lady. This lass. Sweet looking champion. Duchess. That's still one of my favourite skins, actually. Really cool. Very unique. I mean, what can you say about this one? Good speed aura for everywhere. This is really what I love about her. So, decreases the damage taken from AoE attacks. Most damage you take in the game is AoE. Whether it's boss fights, whether it's the arena, whether it's clan boss, almost everywhere you're just getting AoE pummeled into the ground. And she's like that. I'm going to try and protect you guys. And she reduces it by 25%. It's like having a strengthen buff. It's like a straight damage reduction. So doesn't matter about defense, mitigations, all that sort of stuff. It's straight up. If it was going to hit for 100k, it's going to hit for 75. That's the way it works. She's also got a full team revive with a nice amount of HP. And she's got good buffs on her A2. Honestly, if you survive the first hit, Duchess pretty much makes sure that you keep going. She's in Bommel team. She's in Doom Tower teams to make it easier. She's in Doom Tower wave content to make it easier. Just very, very cool. So yeah, Duchess has got to be in the top 50. Where we go next? We're going to see a Barb. We're going to go to Valk. Still insane. Like, if you get her early game, she goes into your clan boss team. One of only 3 champions in the game that does an AoE counter attack. At the same time as doing it, she's got a shield buff, which scales from her defense. It can scale into affinity. So she is just a unit. Okay, she's a unit in clan boss and general content. But she's also super endgame for arena because of her passive. So when enemies place buffs, she pushes their turn meter back if she's got enough accuracy to do it. She's also got an A1, which drops turn meter. So actually in the arena, you kind of turn off the A2 and just get a popping A1s at people. So you're dropping people's turn meter, you're ruining turn order, and you're also messing up with when they're going to take the turn. So she's just very, very cool in multiple places in the game. Okay, we're going to move on to probably the best overall speed manipulator in the game. We spoke about Allure and Armiger, two of the best turn meter droppers in the game. Lisandra is the best overall speed manipulator, and speed is king in this game. So she has got she's got a transfer debuff A1, which is kind of cool. Fully depletes turn meter A2. Increased speed, decreased turn meter A3. Great speed aura, great base speed. She's just speed freak. That's it. She could come into any team really because of that. So, endgame Fire Knight team she's in. Endgame Dark Fae team she's in. Scarab boss she's in. Spider she could be in. Ice Golem. It doesn't matter. Like nearly enough everywhere you want speed to be punched on, and you want to try and drop enemy speed backwards. Endgame faction war team. She's like probably the best champion to pull with this faction. Yeah, she's just nuts. And in the arena, obviously, she becomes crazy strong because speed is king in the arena. So we've got a few other non-voids. Let's go for someone that I only really had my first play test of at the weekend when I did a takeover for someone. I don't own her myself. I did an arena takeover for someone, which has gone up as a video actually yesterday. And Lady Kimmy with a kind of, what is that? Like door knocker type of boo play? I don't know. Knock, knock. Who's there, Lady Kimmy? Yeah, she is insane. Like, I really love this champion. I didn't really realize just how strong she was. I kind of graded her on my website, and I graded her high, but kind of just went out of my mind. She's nuts. Really, really good. So she's got increased speed and turn meter and increased accuracy. The increased accuracy is really important because I don't think there's anyone else in the game that does all of these things, to my knowledge, that I can remember. So she's pumping your speed, she's improving your accuracy, which means that your debuffer that goes next in the arena has just got an easy time. Yeah, if it's Madame, you don't need to build her with 700 accuracy. You could build her with, I don't know, like 400. And she's better than the 700. Yeah, because of this increased accuracy buff. So these abilities all together make her probably the best go first champion in the arena. So she gives you everything you want to get running and increase all the stats you need for the next people to go. I guess with the exception of an increased attack. But yeah, very, very cool. She's also got an AoE A2, which drops their accuracy and drops their speed, and has got a chance to drop their turn meter as well. So it's like the reverse of her A3 is happening on her A2 to the enemy. So everything that was good about her A3 for you is awesome about her A2 to the enemy. She's got this kind of turn meter control type of stuff going on her A1. Doom Tower speed aura, so shame it's not all battles or arena, to be honest. And then she's also got turn meter fill going on here. She's just like fastest champion in the game. Crazy good stats. Hits pretty hard as well, actually. But you kind of don't build her for hits. You build her for speed and accuracy. But yeah, great, great legendary champion. And it was real fun, actually, to play around with her. So she's in the mix. Couple of other non-voids before we get onto the voids. Can't do a list like this without calling out Draco. You know, since he was buffed, he became one of the top tier. Still one of the top tier. AoE drop defense and weaken. Places it so you don't worry about affinity. 4-hitter poison. Nuke A1. Okay, aura. The aura's not the best. Great base stats. Draco can play anywhere and he's good. He's good anywhere. He kind of sets up all of your damage in wave-based content. He's not the best in the arena, albeit he's not bad. But mainly clan boss, dragons, ice golem, anywhere where there's wave content, this guy really, really rules. So he's in the mix. The one I'm going to call out is actually one of the new champions. I playtested him on Fitz's account. Fitz was the guy who designed him. Damn, this champion is awesome. So he's a new one that's actually got an enemy max HP hit. But you actually, what I realized through playtesting is you actually do want to build up his attack as well. And you definitely want to get decreased defense out before you hit with him. But he nukes with this A3 on an AoE. It's the only champion that nukes on an AoE with an enemy max HP as a legendary. So you do have like Royal Guard. He hits harder than that. He's got poisons going on as well in his kit. He's got this passive that just throws out a load of poisons every turn. It's just nuts. I love this champion. It's a really fun design, really cool champ. So yeah, Calvalax is awesome. So that's it for non-voids. Let's get into the voids. And I'm not calling out like tons and tons here. I'm going to call out a few select ones, which I think are game changers. Because void champions, just so hard to get. So, first one, Arb. Easiest one to get. You can get it through doing the missions, and she's well worth the time. You still see her in most endgame arena teams in some way or form. Certainly in... Before you talk about Plat Arena, she's in just about every single arena team there is. She plays in other content as well. Increase attack, increase speed, full team revive with some turn meter, and an extra turn if you revive. A weaken A1, speed aura for the arena, very fast, easy to keep alive. She just plays anywhere as like your protector plus your turn meter filler. And she enables damage with this increased attack. So Arb's got to be on the list. Let's talk about another free to obtain champion, but hard to get. So this is Faction Wars. Lydia, well worth completing Faction Wars if you can for this champion. She's just the real deal. AoE drop defense and weaken, whilst putting strength and an increased speed on you. Brilliant buffs, brilliant debuffs. The rest of her kit's kind of okay. Block buffs here is nice. And fear here is nice as well. So she kind of just has block active skills here as well. So she's got a couple of things that when you're waiting for her to get back to her A2, she's just kind of like, I'll stop you from doing something. I'm going to fear you. She just slows the enemy team down a bit. And then she's got a very unique passive that when the enemy start trying to revive, she's like, no. And if she's dead and they try and revive, she's like, well, I'm back. And if people are block revived, but she's dead, she's like, I don't care about that. I'm back anyway. She's just annoying. Yeah, she's like your little sister. And, you know, when they're like, I don't know, 8 years old and it's question time. She's just annoying in your ear. She's like, you can't do what you want to do because I'm going to stop it. And she's always just a threat because of that. So Lydia, she's also in like endgame teams for a lot of dungeons and Doom Tower and all that type of stuff. She's in my endgame team for Clan Boss. So yeah, she's just awesome. Awesome champion. So well worth the time to get her. Calling out Visix as well. Now, she got buffed. She got buffed good. Like, don't sleep on Visix anymore. She used to be trash. She's not anymore. She's probably not a top 50, okay? She's not a top void legendary, but she's good enough to talk about because she's free to get. And she is strong. Bit like Ninja, there's probably better champions. I don't use her in all my endgame teams, right? But she does have now an AoE provoke. She does have now team protection and AoE drop speed. And she's got good turn meter control, similar to Armiga on her A1. Okay? So don't sleep on her now. She's actually really good now. Okay? I don't know if she's top 50. She's probably not, but she is good now. So I just had to kind of have a quick word on her. Okay, let's get to the big boys then. The ones that everyone wants to get. First one up, I talked about Rotus. What's Rotus without Sifi? Sifi, she's still bonkers. She's still a top arena champion. She's good anywhere else in the game. She helps you in Doom Tower with multiple buffs here. Revive here. Passive heals. If people are frozen on your team, she's like that. I'll clean that off. If Rotus has got any debuff, she's like that. Go and have a go, friend. Nothing's wrong with you. And then she's got the most annoying A1 in the game. It's like the fly zapper. It's like that. Sleep, sleep, sleep. So yeah, she's got the most annoying A1. She's very fast and she's very, very cool. Great champion to have on your side. Let's talk about Euros. So Euros is the second champion that you can get from Doom Tower Hard, from the fragments. He's a beast. He becomes another one of those kind of solo champions. He's got poisons going on all over the place. He's got strength and ally protection for your team. AoE decreased speed and stuns. He's really strong. And he does come in, because of this passive, he's able to come in and do a ton of work on Doom Tower bosses. So, yeah, don't sleep on a Eurost. Harder to get, I know, but he is worth the effort to get, I would say. So, Eurost in the mix. Okay. Who else we got? Yeah. Yep. Warlord. You know, Warlord was always good. Since you could change AI, honestly, personally, I feel like he's made the arena really unfun. That's my personal view. I think to the point where I don't push plat anymore. I find it boring. I don't like it at all. If Warlord has a turn, and I've got Warlord, right? So it's not like I can't do the same strat. I can. Just find it boring. If Warlord has a turn, he locks out your entire team. He's got a chance to push their turn meter back as well, but all of their abilities go away, and all they can do is A1 you. So as long as you get him quick enough to have a turn, and he's got the accuracy to do it, oh, he's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. He's also just good anywhere in the game. So heals and shields and block debuffs, increase in debuffs here, drop turn meter here. Like anywhere in the game, he's strong as a support unit. So if you're struggling, what I tend to say is, if you're struggling to do something fast, you bring in more support. He is the support. He's all you need. Yeah, and he will do a lot of work. Big resistance aura as well. Nice for Doom Tower. Yeah, Warlord is a package. He's absolutely brilliant to get. A champion that I've still not got. Oh, I'm so sad about it. I'm so jealous of people that have got more than one Krisk. Man, this dude, so good. He is so good. Everywhere. When people say to me, and I get this, I guess you can buy accounts or whatever. People say to me, if you could only have one legendary when you start the game, who would you pick? This is who I would pick. Krisk is who I would pick. He's just an absolute carry. Massive defense, one of the best in the game. Reasonable other stats. Ally protection makes him insane for clan boss. He also puts heals out there. Increased speed for your team. Increased defense for himself. And he's got a provoke here. So this makes him useful kind of in wave content or the arena. AoE's everywhere on all his abilities. Decreased speed on his A1. And then cool debuffs when he takes a hit on his passive. And also a fat shield wherever you turn up on his passive. He's just like an absolute unit. He is a beast. So he's got to be in the mix. There's a couple which, look, I don't think they're top 50, but I'll call them out because I'm sure that you'll be upset they're not in there. Venus, got the same type of stuff going on as Draco. Very useful to get. Very great champion. Should probably be in the mix, to be honest. So Nick, kind of similar. Does a big nuke, hard-hitting HP champion. So does enable some unkillable teams, but harder to use. And does have a big shield A2. Probably should be in the mix. And I'm sure people are already crying about... where is he? Oh, sorry, she. Riho. Maybe... No, Riho should be in the mix. Last one we're going to talk about. Riho Bonespear. I actually felt like she was kind of trash when I first saw her kit. I was like, nah, I don't really see the point of this champion. I can't see where she's going to be played. I was totally wrong on her. She's really good. She's really good, mainly because of this passive. You notice a lot of the champions that we call out here, they're strong because they've got weird passives. So once you start to get under the skin of it, it's like, damn, it's like mental. So when she takes any debuffs, she's just like that. I don't want them. You're having them instead. She passes them straight back. Good luck. She's got a full team cleanse, and then she swaps out with block debuffs on her A3, which is massive, plus a heal, which is massive. She throws out a ton of debuffs. I don't know why I thought she was rubbish, really. The more we play Doom Tower, where you're taking debuffs, you need block debuffs and cleanses. You need a ton of debuffs going. Like, she just becomes stronger and stronger. And also in the arena, she's like the best anti-hedgy champion out there, I'd say. We see her in a lot of endgame arena teams now. And yeah, she's just kind of nuts for it. So Riho Bonespear, I was wrong. You were right. There you go. I did it wrong plenty of the time. There you go, guys. That's my best 50. I might have gone over a little bit, but that's my best champions in Raid. Comment below, who did I miss? I'm sure I missed some. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you stuck with it to the end. I will catch you later.